Hello everybody, my name is Deku and welcome back to MILGRAM. Last time we left off, we had just finished watching Mahiru's Aishite video. I love it. I love that video. I'm very glad about the support that I got from that video. And speaking of support, look over there. I pointed to the right direction this time. Look at the patrons and the names and the funny cool stuff. Do you want to help me get a better fucking camera? Do you want to help me get a better fucking camera, huh? Instead of this dumb shit Logitech HD 1080p camera? Well, by becoming a Patreon, you can help me do that. It'll also help, make these videos go a lot smoother because I can get like a new GPU and processor and other things like that, and I'll be able to crank out shit way quicker. And whenever I have the affirmation of the fact that I'm getting paid to do YouTube, it means that I will probably be more inclined to do shit even more often than I already am, despite the fact that I am infinitely more motivated now than I ever have been, purely on the basis of just the support that I've been getting from you guys. Anyway, thank you to all those people. The names are done scrolling now. If you want to do all that, check out the very end of the video where it has the big advertisement to find out what you can get from it. You can also join the Patreon for free and get your name listed in the white, black outlined names that you saw scrolling there, like Star Wars. Anyway, I'm very excited for KAZUI. Something about MILGRAM mathematics. I don't know what the fuck that means, but we're gonna start anyway. So, here we go with KAZUI Mukuhara's second voice drama. There's no name for it. What the fuck? Hold on. Cat? Also, by the way, I'm very scared for the Purge March. I don't know what the fuck is going to be going on there. Anyway, let's get started, shall we? What if I just said fuck it and we started with the second trial music video just to fuck with people? Alright, here we go.
久しぶり、看守君。
ああ、久しいな。
監獄の中は随分と大変なことになっているが。
I don't like the way that they're all like situated. S is supposed to be over here.
そこら辺は。
Over here.
コトコから囚人を守ってくれたようだな。
There, right there. S is supposed to be over here.
当然のこと。
Prisoner here.
それくらい。しかし、あの子は本当に強いね。俺もあらごとは経験してきたつもりだけど、あんな女性は初めてだよ。
お前でも無力化できないものなのか。
こういうのって基本的に体重が重い方が勝つんだけどね。向こうがこっちをしっかり殺す気なのと、さすがに怪我させるわけにはいかないからさ。難しいね。
そうか。
こうなることはもともと危惧していたよ。若い子も多い。このような状況でまともな精神を保つことは難しい。
冷静だな。
Pretty rational.
どうだろうね。暴力沙汰の方が慣れてるからかな。
I like the brackets. I'm wondering if this is for like the more literal translation or helping to translate the words that he is saying, because he is saying I feel responsible for her, but he is saying it in a way that says I feel responsible for what happened to her in the way that he's in the very specific Japanese that he uses.
シーナちゃんは間に合わなかった。責任を感じているよ。まあ安心してよ。俺が動ける限りは守ってみせるよ。あの子とまともに戦えるのは俺くらいだろうから。
あとはミコトか。
ああ、暴れ出した時のね。でも読めないね。両方が僕らを襲ってくることがあったら全滅だってあり得る。
全滅。
そうなればこの監獄ごっこも終了だろう。それも全て看守君の判断次第なんだろう。誰を許すか許さないか次第。
看守官。
何が言いたい？
できれば これ以上人が傷つかない方法を選んでほしいと言っている。
つまりお前を許せと。
おいおい、そんな目で見るなよ。
僕は看守だ。許せれば許すし、許せなければ許さない。
Sure there is.
それ以外に指標はない。
いいじゃないか。看守君も囚人たちが傷ついていく現状は望むところではないんだろう。罪を見ていると言いながら囚人たちを守る判断をしていけばいい。心の内側は誰にもわからない。それくらいの
I mean, that's what S should be doing. They should be taking in consideration not just their crimes, but also the people as they are as individuals and the consequences of those actions. I just got another comment. I want you guys to know that whenever I say I see every comment because I get a notification for it on my phone. You guys blow my fucking phone up, and honestly, it is such an amazing feeling. Like, just constantly throughout the day having people get like post comments about the shit that I do. It's so cool. If you want to be even cooler, you can see. I'm not even gonna do that joke. I'm not even gonna do that joke because somebody might take it seriously. And no, I'm not gonna say it.
ずる賢さは許されるだろ
お前らしい小賢しい考えだ。
う。当然の判断だろう。人を守るための虚偽は罪かい？
カントだな。
カント？
Kant.
哲学者。どんな状況でも嘘をつくことは罪であると唱えた。
Yeah, well, Kant's a fucking dumbass, so
友人を
ignore
人
him.
殺しが追ってきたとして居場所を尋ねられた場合でも嘘をついてはならないそうだぞ。カント曰く。
Yeah.
馬鹿げている。嘘をつけば人が救えるならそうすべきだ。
だが
If we want to be very philosophical with it, the act of lying and the act of speech as a concept is using yourself and to express your thoughts because you are controlling your vocal cords and other things like that to express yourself and your inner desires and wants and communication, all these other shit, right? So by saying that you shouldn't lie, I think means that you are restricting yourself from possibly doing good, right? That might be all over the place, but what I'm trying to get at is that, like, given the fact that lying and speech as a idea is predicated on the fact that it is expression of self, that lying is useful because it allows you to express your thoughts or even deception of thoughts that could be beneficial to either yourself or other people around you. But if you only lie to benefit yourself, that becomes individualistic, and individualism is fucking stupid.
人を殺したのだろ。
Argue with the wall. Argue with the fucking wall. Pulls out knife. Argue with the fucking wall. Where's my knife? Here it is. Argue with the wall.
許したんだろ俺のことを。ずいぶん当たりがきついね。
そうか。
白々しいね。君は心象風景を見ることで俺の気を知りに行くと言っていた。その結果かい？
不定だろ。くだらない。許したのはいまいち詳細がわからないからだ。経緯もお前の心情もよくわからん。
なるほど。
非常にわかりづらい。
Because remember the thing that I said about how that it's possible that the prisoners are manipulating their extracted songs by having their own self-reflection that is then being extracted, so it can kind of muddy the waters and other shit like that. What if KAZUI isn't unfaithful, right? What if he didn't have a strained relationship, right? But what if he's just gay? What if he lost interest in his wife because he's gay and felt obliged by society to be in a heteronormative relationship that resulted in his wife killing herself? Kind of like in a similar way to how Mahiru's love, it can relate to symbolically everything with Kazui, right?
ポエミーに暗喩した。
Or what if it wasn't his wife who died? What if it was the gay partner that he had who died because of whatever reason, of being like, oh my god, you used to be straight, you gross, kill self, I don't know, something like that.
自分に酔ったお前の人間性が丸出しだ。
はあらら。許してくれたってのに散々な言い草じゃないか。
個人的な嫌悪感だ。その性欲に突き動かされる人間に対してのな。
個人的な？
ああ、そうだ。
おかしいね。君は無味無臭の看守であろうとする嫌いがあると思っていたけど、個人的な嫌悪感を個人的な嫌悪感として出してくるなんて珍しいんじゃない？
やかましい。
Is he though? Is he actually splitting hairs when the whole point is for you to be neutral and to judge? Or at least you say that you're neutral? Like, if you're going to say you're going to judge people based on your own personal dislikes, then just say that, right? Like, I have biases. I got comments today talking about my biases and about how all sorts of other stuff, and then someone was like, you're letting your biases get in the way of enjoying this thing or enjoying the character or whatever, whenever literally the fact is that I enjoy that thing because of my biases and the like, or my very, very like political and socialist readings on media, right? If I am being extremely biased, I fucking better hell should be, because I don't want to be neutral or whatever and be boring and just go with the flow of everything else because that makes you comfortable or whatever, right? I am being heavily politicized and are politicizing my views through my own biases while watching MILGRAM and the like, because that makes it interesting, and I am being true to myself because of that. To say that I am being too biased is to disconnect my reaction to base entertainment and to say that you wish for me to be something that I am not, and therefore I am not enjoying something the way that you want me to enjoy something, despite the fact I am enjoying something on my own because of those biases. Anyway, yes, I think S should have biases and should use those biases to inform things, but also they should be neutral as well while taking in all the considerations on top of that. But, you know, when it becomes hypocrisy, it becomes interesting.
なかったと見えるね。わかるよ。若さゆえか、あるいは。
はあ、なんだ。まじまじと見てくるな。気色の悪い。すっきり。
いきなり何するんだい。
生理的な反応だ。悪く思うな。
それでためらいなく顔を殴るのはやめなよ。しかし、そうか。そうか。
そうか。
そういう可能性は考えてもみなかったな。思い込みというのは怖いね。
それ以上、わけのわからないことを言っていると、 もう一度殴るぞ。
You're gonna hit him because you don't understand it? As you're a bit of an idiot.
ヒステリーはやめておくれよ。
You are a child, but at the same time, one of the biggest things with MILGRAM is that S, despite being a child, is extremely smart, and that because of the fact they are disconnected from the idea of childhood and childishness and adolescence, that they are kind of taken as a face value kind of sort of thing.
ただそれなら納得がいく部分もあるね。俺は子供がいないけど、そういうものだと聞いているよ。
おい、分け知り顔でベラベラ喋るなよ。不愉快な。
でもね、違うんだよ。
何の話だ。
違うんだ。不貞と言ったね。いわゆる浮気や不倫の類だと。
お前の心象から僕はそう推測した。
違う。不貞にすらならなかったよ。そういうものにすらならなかったんだ。俺のはね。
既婚者、妻帯者だろお前。
そうだよ。あれ、そうか。言ってなかったか。
指輪外したんだな。
そうか。外してたか。そうか。
はあ。
持ち歩いてはいるんだけどね。ほら、俺は許された。俺の気持ちを肯定された。だからこれをしなくてもいいってことなのかね。おかげで第二審が始まってから気分が楽だった。それは本当にもう。
Because divorce is a really big thing that's looked down upon in Japan. Like, that is a very big thing because culturally it's seen as breaking up the family unit, and family as a unit is a very politicized but also cultural important thing to Japanese people.
申し訳ないね。つまり
その指輪がお前にとっての罰の象徴だというのなら、相手にとってこれ以上ない残酷さだろうな。結婚というのは愛し合う者同士が望んでするものだろう。
What if for this is the only video where I do it, but I take that PNG of the dog being like, I know what you are, and I use that instead of my face on the thumbnail, and I just have like the little subtitle that I always put on the thumbnail, and I just have it be, I know what you are.
一方の人間が望んだだけで
And then I have the title be Happy Pride.
できないものだ。それを勝手に罰扱いとはバカにしている。
But isn't that the whole point behind marriage? Well, not to see it as a mockery or as a punishment, is that you view marriage independently as yourself, because just because it as an idea means one thing to many people does not mean it has to mean that to you. So if you think marriage can be a punishment because you are being forced together with a person that you do not like, or are forced to be together with due to how society says that that's how you should be, then maybe you can view it as a punishment.
そうだね。はあ、そう思ったんだろうさ。妻もね。
前も言っていた。お前は嘘つきだ。その嘘が人を殺した。僕はお前を許した。まだわからないなりに直接殺したわけではなさそうだとか、さまざまな類推の中でお前の人。
I'm definitely getting from this interrogation questions, or this interrogation, is that I am definitely starting to see that the big thing with KAZUI is the fact that he is supposed to represent lying as well, but it's the ideas behind lying and what causes from those lies, if that can be considered sin, because it led to somebody dying because he lied about his identity and so on. Despite the fact that lying is a very capable and also good thing to be used. If you have to lie to somebody to protect them because you know that they might become irrational if you told them the truth when that time is not the right time to say the truth, or that for any other reasons, or maybe even to protect yourself or protect others or anything like that, of being exactly like the whole thing with Kant of being like, oh, if you see somebody getting murdered and the murderer asks you where their target went, you should tell them the truth because lying is a sin, blah, 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 then no, lying in that scenario is a good idea and should be, and is a moral thing to do. But the whole point behind morals is that anything can be moralized. Anything can be completed to be good or bad depending on the system that it exists within, right? That's one of the whole things of whenever I mention moralization, I am not talking about the idea of saying that one thing is bad or good when it actually isn't. It's more along the lines that I am saying that this thing is being conflated to inherently be good or bad due to other people saying that it is, and thus garnering strength and power or ideology from it, right? You see this all the time within liberalism or conservatism and fascism and the like. They will moralize actions to be said as good despite the fact on their own they became hurtful. Morals are not a bad thing either. Morals are good, but it is the act of using them to benefit yourself or a small collective of people, or to harm people where that moralization becomes bad.
人殺しは罪ではないと判断した。だが、嘘をつく人間性は褒められたものではない。
その通りだと思うよ。
つまり、好き嫌いで言うと嫌いだ。覚えとけ。
So mean, S.
わかるよ。
はあ、
俺も大嫌いだよ。嘘をついている自分が。嘘つきはね、苦しいんだよ。
Which brings up an entirely another thing of pathological lying is something that hurts both you and others around you because you're so unwilling to express yourself in a truthful sense that you must hide it.
だったら。
だから変えようとしたんだ。変わろうとしたんだ。自分にも他人にも嘘をつくのをやめようとしたんだ。
Which makes me think that his entire extracted song could have been a lie because he was lying to himself, and thus that was what was extracted and shown.
だよ。打ち明けたんだ。ありのままでいようとしたんだよ。俺は俺の生まれたままであろうとしたんだ。
おい、KAZUI。
嘘が殺したんじゃない。嘘をやめたから死んだんだ。嘘をついたままなら。
Okay, I get it now. Yep. This is a gay boy. This is a gay boy. He lied to his wife that he was in love with her and other things like that. Most likely, again, due to societal pressures, but also the fact of other things like feeling like he had to do it and other things. And the moment that he stopped lying to her and instead of saying that he did love her, which, started reinforcing the fact that she was being loved and the like, and said that he didn't love her and was actually gay and was trying to be himself, that it hurt her, and thus he felt that if he lied all the time so that he could please people, that it would stop hurting people, but it ended up hurting people even more, and thus started hurting himself too.
死ななかったんだ。
KAZUI。
嘘をつかなきゃ生きていけないんだ。
A little bit. Just a little bit.
そう生まれたんだ。俺は 情けないよね。
よくわからんやつだな、お前は。余裕ぶって本心を見せず、心の内を巧妙に隠しているかと思えば、今はそうやって自己嫌悪に陥っている。
おじさんの情緒不安定見てらんないよね。ごめんね。
カントの話だが。
友人が殺されそうでも嘘つくなって人ね。
彼の主張は嘘をつかなかったことで友人が死んだとしてそこに因果関係はないとのことらしい。
So the idea is that, oh, well, if you could lie in this scenario, then why not just tell the truth and then go and stop and help the person, help your friend in the first place? Well, then again, that's one of those things where it's moralizing the act of lying instead of taking it from a case-by-case scenario and the situations that involve it of why it's being used. If you want to stop your friend from getting hurt, then lie. Don't say, yeah, tell the truth, they're down there, and then run after them and beat them up, or stop the mugging or murder or killing to be happening. You are just putting undue stress onto your own friend because you couldn't lie in a scenario to save them grief and to help them, but you had to live up to this principled idea of lying is bad in any scenario.
そう思えないけどね。
嘘をつかなくても友人は死なないかもしれないし、嘘をついても友人は別の機会に死ぬかもしれない。だから誠実であるべきだと。
So it's under the assumption that you are like neutral and like that you're getting in the way of fate or whatever, which is dumb as fuck because fate is only defined by how a person by themselves, not by something preordained outside of themselves, right? Like there is consequences and actions and systems that cause things to happen in the first place. It does not happen in a void. Fate is not just, oh, something is going to happen to me. Fate is consequence. It is course of action that leads to that happening.
納得できる？
いや、あまり。
だよね。
He lied
あまり
again.
だったが、今は誠実であろうとしたことで失敗をした人間に対してその誠実さ自体を責めないようにという優しさなのかもしれないと思った。何が起きたかはまだ知らないが、お前が正直であろうとしたこと自体は誇っていいのではないか。
Excuse me.
急に優しいね。
思ったことを言っているだけだ。仮にもお前は許された。お前の罪は罪ではないとされた。それでも少しも楽そうじゃない。
本当にね。
他のやつはなんだかんだで許されたことで自分を解放していたがな。
そうなんだね。
それだけ人に思いを肯定されるということは人格形成に大きな影響を及ぼすということがわかる。だがお前はお前自身を許していない。だから変われない。もしくは偽った自分を許されても少しも救われないということか。
ああ、本当にすごいね君は。たくさん考えてる。
面倒な囚人を10人抱えてるもんでな。嫌でも鍛えられる。
自分を許していない。偽りの自分を許されても響かない。そのどっちもなんじゃないかな。 重ねてきた嘘が自分を縛っている。小さい頃から自分の胸の内なんて語ったことがない。でも結局人はそうしないと救われないってことだ。そしてそれはもう俺の手ではできないところまで来ているんだ。
ボンボン。
ミルグラムならぶち壊してくれると思ったんだけどね。
挑発のつもりか。
君は俺の罪に届かなかった。俺は望んでいるというのにミルグラムも大したことがないんだな。
無理をするなよ。さっきまで泣き言を言っていたくせに。
行き止まりまで来てしまった嘘つきの意地さ。俺の嘘を明かしてみろ、ミルグラム。そして S、 俺をこの嘘から解放してくれ。
はあ、任せておけ。囚人番号7番カズイ、お前の罪を歌え。
So dramatic. The subtitling is so dramatic now. Ah! Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. Guys, I'm getting fucking spoiled. I'm kidding. Alright, next! Let's see. Let's watch this shit. Hmm.
いつから気持ちに目そらしてたんだ。後悔するよりさせる方がずっといいや。触れてみたかったんだ。めでるように触れて欲しかったんだ。いけないことクソくらい許されたそうだろ。もしかしたら叶うのかしら。本当の愛をつかむためだ。嘘もつくだろう。腹ペンクラクラクラ砕いてバイバイバイな発見するままごとギスなんちゃって。愛情まなさダサいなバカ者被害者と加害者でいいだろう。嘘をつけなくなるまで狂言しにまいない。もし俺がお前のこと好きって言ったらどうする。聞いてみたかったんだ。晴れるように少し欲張ったんだ。言えないよなしたいこと飲み干してしまわなきゃ。この時々はもうよしあしじゃない。どんなに無理と気づいてても夢は見るだろう。やめられない普通じゃないこの思い望み通りにはならない。やめられない普通じゃないこの思い望み通りにしたい。ちょっと言っとく。
Haha, get it? Masquerade, and he's eating something and sucking the blood out of something. It's like a vampire. It's like vampire that's a masquerade and vampire. Like the funny, get it? Funny. Okay. I get it. Yeah, I get it now. This is okay. It was not infidelity, but it was lying of not actually having love for her. But if he did not have love for her, then what if there was a love for somebody else? There could be the idea that it was no love whatsoever, like aromantic or, you know, asexual and the like, but he was just going through the motions to feel like he needed a sense of affirmation and other things. But in reality, what I'm getting from this is the fact that that's not at all what was happening, but there was very much another man involved that made him realize that these thoughts that he had wasn't exactly what he thought it was. So let's start from the very beginning and keep going. The ring comes out of his mouth is a very interesting bit of symbolism, because it's one of those things like the lie of love, of marriage coming from his mouth. He then catches it, almost like it's reassurance, but then he shows his hand and it's actually gone like a magic trick. Cat also makes sense. At first, whenever I saw this, I was going to say, is it because he's acting catty? As if he is acting like something he's not? Maybe it's like a cat-dog sort of thing where he is incompatible with somebody? Or maybe something along those lines. But I now understand the symbolism behind calling it cat, and you'll see why at the very end. Notice here that the thing that comes from his ring and then hiding it, and then almost as if he is about to show something else, he shows a lie, a dove. And doves are symbolic because doves represent love. They represent mating for life. They represent fidelity and loyalty and the like, especially within relationships. So him producing that almost like a magic trick as a magician of lies, and because magicians in a way use lies to entertain, thus creating a dove is a lie that he is feeding his wife the sense of that he does love her. It's a little funny too, because it's almost like kind of depicted in like a pulpy kind of like pulp comic sort of thing, like a police thing where they're like all putting like the siren on top of the hood and everything like that, which is a little bit of cool visualization. But also the idea is that they look like detectives, and the whole point of detectives is to try and sniff out lies. She's so cute. Again, one of those things where it almost seems like love bombing or trying to reassure her and feed her the lie of love while he himself does not actually love. He's doing all of the ideas of romance without the actual meaning and intent behind them. And then the ring, again, like a magic trick of just giving and, you know, kind of lying, causing these illusions to happen to gain a reaction from somebody, almost like entertainment. Again, it's almost as if it's all performance to him. This idea that he is performing ritualized heteronormativeness, right? Loving affection minus love, where it's just affection. It is just going through the motions, like a dance, or like a performance, or like how a magician goes through a routine. Victim and perpetrator. He is framing himself as the perpetrator and her as the victim, meaning that he is realizing his lies and the hurt that he has caused her, but still lying because he's so used to lying. Lie until it gets better. Follow the king of the masquerade. A mask, hiding yourself. A king of the masquerade is somebody who is doing something behind a mask. They are showing an example of what to do, and you have to follow them. You put on your own mask, you follow in their footsteps, which again could symbolize the idea of heteronormativity, or whatever, however the fuck you want to say it. And then there's all these apples, this normalcy with one sticking out, this green one. And green apples being Granny Smith's, kind of sour and other things, as opposed to the sweetness of a typical red apple, is very interesting, because that kind of shows of what KAZUI is wanting to go for. He's wanting to go for the green apple, but everyone else is saying that he needs to be a red apple. See how he catches it? And the moment he catches that red apple, then the line of, what if I told you I like you, when he's drunk, meaning he is not talking to somebody he is already married to, but to somebody else, shows that maybe the infidelity isn't totally not real. That maybe he had infidelity and committed adultery, but not in a direct way, but more in the way that he was skimming the line with it before realizing that he needed to stop lying. Very interesting here too is that his mouth and his truth is being reflected from the booze in the tumbler glass, meaning that he is only telling the truth under substance, under abuse of substance potentially, or other things. I wanted to ask, just put it out in the open, but I got a little greedy. As in, he started telling the truth, and he views himself acting not in the way that everyone else wants him to be, as him being selfish, and thus greedy. Really interesting here as well is that, are these rings or are these chips? As in, like, poker chips. What's really interesting is that as they're talking, she's infatuated, but it's almost as if he's performing. It's coming from his hands, his gesture, the performance of his limbs and gesticulation of his words and so on is like a performance. It's like gambling. It's like magic, right? He is actively doing all of these things, not as a way of entertainment, but as a routine of something to do, not because he actually wants to do it. Rings right there, and so on, symbolizing the love. The ace could also potentially, it shows gambling and other things in the magic wand, of magic routine, so on and so forth, of lies and all this other stuff, because gambling is also tied to deception, of lying, bluffing, poker face, all this other stuff. But then the idea of ace is the possibility that that could be foreshadowing to the idea of he has something up his sleeve, an ace up his sleeve, right? He has a lie that he has not revealed as a truth. Despite the fact that whenever he sees her, then the booze comes into play, he sees her differently. And then once he sees her differently, past the lies, past this performance that he is creating and doing, he sees somebody that he actually wants to be there. The green apple. This idea. Not specifically just a person, but this idea of a person, of romance that he actually wants. This green apple, while his wife is this red apple. And notice that he is attracted to this idea of masculinity being a green apple, where you could even tie the idea of symbolism and interpret a red apple as femininity. A green apple is this idea of masculinity in this idea and in this scenario. And then all the tricks fall out, all of the illusions and all of the hoops. I realize now that those are rings, but not like wedding band rings, but as in like the magic rings, like disconnection, connecting, which in itself could also be, maybe I'm looking too deep into it, but that's one of the fun things about this, is that it's the idea of connecting two things together, right? Like marriage, but then the illusion is that you somehow disconnect them without hurting each other, which could be symbolic of the idea of divorce somehow not hurting each other, despite the fact that unless it's done on a mutual playing field, divorce and then therefore disconnection inevitably hurts someone in the process of separation. Yearning to be satisfied. And again, he takes off the ring, shows it to just be an illusion, almost as if he's addicted to the idea of lying, because then a cigarette is formed, or the fact that he pulls out a cigarette as a form of escape and the substance abuse to relieve himself from the stress of the performance that he is giving. But this time, whenever he tries to give her the idea of a dove, of romance, of a husband, he shows the truth. And the visualization here is that he is eating the dove. That the dove was a lie. It was something that was performative, not something that was sacred. He is eating it. He is like a wild animal. And thus, the symbolism of him being a cat ties into it. Because cats can eat doves. Cats eat birds. And as this bird represents love of matrimony and typical heterosexual marriage, he is eating it and thus is being a cat and showing his true feelings and the like. Someone might even be able to tie this into this is demonizing that act of going away from heteronormativity, but in reality it's just his true self. He does not want this performance. He is a cat, and they are trying to force a dove onto him. And the only thing that happens when you try and force a dove is that inevitably the cat eats the dove, either symbolically or literally. And thus that shows her the truth, because now she's being affected by the blood splattering onto her from the dove, the symbol of marriage and love and normalcy, being shattered as nothing more than an illusion by a cat. I think I cooked with that one. Why is there a Chris Chan thing at the bottom of my fucking... Right, I remember now. Those videos come on. I listen to those videos often, like just in the background or so on. But goddamn, I fucking hate those people that like do the lolcow shit. But that's an entirely different thing. Fucking, at least it's interesting to listen to. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope this was interesting for you to listen to, and for my interpretation, analysis, and literary breakdown of things. And I hope you are looking forward to Amine's video, because I am very much looking forward to Amine, because this is supposedly the most watched video on MILGRAM, and actually it is, not just supposedly, it is the most watched video in the MILGRAM project. So I am very much looking forward to that. I can only imagine how many views that's going to get, especially because of how recent this is. This was only like a few months ago that came out. But like, when I say a few months, like many months ago, like last year, as opposed to all of these ones that I'm watching came out like 3+ years ago. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. And I'm guessing that as the most requested and looked forward to video, that video will also possibly be the one that gets the most views as well, which is another thing that I'm looking forward to. So yeah, if you want to support me, I have a Patreon down below. You can join it for free. There's also the YouTube memberships, as low as 99 cents a month. For Patreon, it's $2.50. Honestly, the difference in price is only because you can choose the way to pay while getting the same benefits. You can pay as much as you want or as little as you want. You get the same benefits no matter what. No matter how much money you pay, it does not gain you new benefits, other than the fact that you might be seen more often, as in like your recommendations as a part of the benefits and the like. Because if you do the 99 cents or the lowest tier, you get to do your recommendation, but you don't get to do the recommendation once a month, unlike how the Fresh Pirates are able to do a recommendation once a month. Or maybe they both do once a month. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's kind of just like, it depends on if you, depending on just how I feel, really. Like if a bunch of people from the really low tier like, hey, react to this, I'm like, okay, I want to get some recommendations from the higher tiered people first, and then I might consider the influx of the ones after that. Or maybe, again, just depends on how I feel, because all of you guys are supposed to be equal. All of you guys are supposed to be fairly treated and equitable and all this other stuff, regardless of how much you pay. But anyway, that's all that stuff. My leg fell asleep. It is very painful right now. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Happy Pride. Bye-bye. Thank you to the members and patrons, a.k.a. the Ultimate Pirate Fleet. Saline, Peachy Bun, Sleepy Sheepy, Lolo Bartazal, Finch R, Eminelli, Belle, Lily McMillan, Henri, Shira, Angel313, Andrew Ortega, Ariana Henry, Yoan, Test, Helen, Miles Morales, Boogalarka Boggy, Moonze W, On You, Lind the Vocaloid Nerd ARG, Distar, AAT, Yui Izumi, Leia, Chocobo/Chris, Annie, Shen Guang, #1 Ash Bradley fan, Michaela Malone, Gondala, Elin Levens, Mealy, Sin, Amon Klein, CEO, Ori, Questionable Decisions, Chizuru, Rumi1, Shali CC, Purist Failure, Silan, Vin Mikaniri, Wef Nai, Kaku, Gukan, and Mana. And a very special thank you to the paid tiers, starting with Fresh Pirates, Yui Izumi, Shelly, and Angel313. And now for the crewmates. Saline. If you wish to support me, you can do so by becoming a member through the links in the description down below. You are all a part of the Ultimate Crew. And if you wish to have your name listed, you can do so by reading the stuff that's in front of you right now. Thank you.